Emma had that look again, the one that usually ends with either disaster or hilarity. She parked Vandalf the White at the Nürburgring racetrack, her enthusiasm vibrating through the steering wheel. She stepped out, leaving the keys in the ignition, humming a tune that only the insane or wildly overconfident would hum at a place nicknamed the Green Hell. I stared out the window, tail flicking. She's lost it. Next she'll say I need a driver's license. Maurice, perched on the passenger seat, peered at the racetrack. His blue eyes sparkled. Fluffy, do you realize what this is? The Nürburgring, one of the most legendary racetracks in the world. It's a human masterpiece of engineering and speed. And Emma's about to ruin its reputation with a beige campervan, I replied, flattening my ears as she gestured toward the open track day booth. We're going to be on every fails of the Nürburgring compilation by tomorrow. The moment Vandalf rolled into the pit lane, the mood shifted. Sleek Ferraris and Porsches sat gleaming under the sun, their drivers adjusting helmets with an air of practiced cool. Vandalf, by contrast, wheezed like an asthmatic dinosaur, its paint job screaming, middle-aged family road trip. Do you feel that? Maurice whispered. It's awe, the weight of history. I flicked a paw at a group of amused spectators taking photos of Vandalf. That's not all, Maurice. That's mockery. When the green light flashed, Emma pressed the accelerator, and Vandalf lurched forward like a startled cow. Sports cars zipped past us in a blur of colour and growling engines, while Vandalf groaned its way onto the track, emitting a sound that could only be described as mechanical despair. Maurice clung to the seat, his eyes wide. Fluffy, we're on the Nürburgring. This is amazing. This is embarrassing, I countered, bracing myself as Vandalf trundled around the first corner, its tyres squealing in protest. We're the equivalent of a bowling ball on a golf course. The lap was a symphony of chaos. Emma wrestled Vandalf around corners, her hair flying in the wind as she leaned into every turn. Behind her, I clung to the dashboard, my claws leaving tiny dents in the vinyl. She's treating this like a scene from a movie, I shouted over the engine's wheeze. What does she think she's driving, a Mustang? Maurice, meanwhile, had his head pressed against the window, marvelling at every car that passed us. Did you see that Audi R8? It's got over 600 horsepower. And that McLaren. Oh, the aerodynamics. Fantastic, I growled. We're a stationary traffic cone to them. The highlight, or lowlight, of the lap came when Vandalf hit a straightaway. Emma floored the accelerator, and Vandalf gave a guttural roar, surging forward with all the speed of a geriatric tortoise. Maurice yelped as a bright yellow Porsche zipped past us, its spoiler casting a literal shadow over Vandalf. Fluffy, that car just lapped us. It's a racetrack, Maurice, I snapped. We're here as a joke, not competitors. The corner arrived faster than Emma anticipated. Vandalf tilted dangerously, its right wheels leaving the ground for a terrifying second before slamming back down. Maurice screamed. I yowled. Vandalf sputtered but survived. When the lap mercifully ended, Emma parked Vandalf back in the pit lane. A small crowd had gathered, laughing and clapping as she stepped out, red-faced but grinning. She gave them a mock bow before returning to us, oblivious to our feline outrage. She thinks this is a victory, I muttered, leaping back onto the dashboard. We've just cemented our place as Nürburgring's biggest joke. Maurice flopped onto the passenger seat, his fur dishevelled. I'll admit, it wasn't boring. As Vandalf rumbled back onto the highway, the chaos of the day behind us, Maurice curled up beside me, his tail flicking lazily. Do you think Emma knows how absurd she is? Absolutely, I replied. And she leans into it. Life with Emma was many things, messy, ridiculous, and full of hair-raising moments, but it was never dull. And for that, I suppose I could tolerate a lap or two in the slowest vehicle on the Nürburgring. To be continued, probably with less speed.